Welcome
What is...
to another episode of Smash Writing. I'm Paul, Justin, and today we are reviewing the 1997 film Spawn.
I got the t-shirt for it.
I did not know Poison Ivy was in this film. You're going to have to point out that
Close
scene.
enough, yeah.
You're going to have to point...
There were some plants. I saw them.
that kind of wiggled in the breeze. We've actually been wanting to talk about this film
For a while.
For a while now.
It keeps coming up.
And like every time we go, like, hey, we'll review Spawn.
While we're doing this on YouTube, we're talking about the series over on the podcast, so you can check out the podcast.
Check that out too.
If you want to see us talk about the animated series.
Or both, because it's...
Yeah, watch them both. Like, they're both like 10 minutes.
But yeah, we've been wanting to do this idea, and we finally found an open spot for it. So here we are. This film, first, the plot is a basic one. We have
Well, you have the guy coming back. He's a soldier. He made a deal to come back. Anything for one. He'll do anything. He'll lead you to hell.
Which is his wife.
He'll lead the armies of hell if he gets to come back and see Wanda.
For one last time.
And basically what hell wants him to do is they need him to kill his former boss, Wynn, the guy who killed him. And in the movie, they put a little device in Wynn's chest, and when he dies at the hands of Spawn, it'll unleash a virus that'll kill basically everyone.
And then opening the doors for heaven and hell to fight each other because now you're in
That's the ongoing war, is heaven and hell. This movie is so weird to talk about, right?
Yeah, because
it is both a really good movie
and a really
bad movie at the same time.
I think
and it walks that fine line between those two.
It really does, because it goes. It's a back and forth. Like, one scene you really think it's a good scene, then the next scene is just...
This is really weak.
First off, the graphics.
We're jumping straight to the CGI.
Yeah, let's just get that one out there.
Okay, the CGI isn't bad.
Very bad.
And I don't want to, it came out in 97. Like, yes, it did. But you could have shown a bit of restraint. You didn't need all... I think I watched the director's cut, too, because this movie felt longer than the last time I saw it. And more ways CGI, like the final battle. I don't remember that.
The performance of the CGI of Balboja, was horrible to watch.
Like, that was...
I mean...
Oh, it's rough.
The
green screen when they're in hell.
Ugh.
The green screening is bad. The CGI is really rough.
Beyond rough. And I think maybe the CGI, maybe it's just, this might be my opinion, I think the CGI is so bad it does hurt what you overall think of the film. Because you go back to that CGI and go, what? Because then, like, you look at the suit of Spawn, obviously that was...
The cape.
Yeah.
Needed to be CGI. That's why you only... I think that's why you only see the cape when you have to see the cape.
Yeah, because that cape was once again CGI and bad. But then, like, you look at the suit.
The suit looked really nice.
The suit was really... Now, that looked more true makeup artist.
Yeah, like makeup and actual suits.
Probably the only CGI was when he put his mask back on.
Yeah.
Because,
it was flowing up, not the manual thing.
Yeah, but the suit, so when you go to practical effects, the suit was fine. I didn't have a problem with the graphics with that.
It's when you get into the actors is when it flips the other way. Because I think everyone involved did a really good job.
Yeah.
With what they had to work with.
Right, and that's...
Michael J. White was really good as Spawn.
Yeah, he deserves more credit. And, they probably should have gave him more action scenes, too.
Yeah.
To show, because he is... Because if you look at films that he's
a bona fide badass. Well, he can do a whole lot of fighting scenes for you.
Right, and that was probably like another underwhelming moment is what he did fight in this scene, in this movie, but not enough to show him what he's really good at doing.
Yeah.
We talked about Wesley Snipes, and he's up there too. He's a good action star, and they kind of sheltered him a little bit from it.
Well, Spawn's not much of like, he's a brawler, but he's a gun too. But you don't get enough of that either.
Exactly.
And I think the biggest thing that hurts this movie is they don't give you enough time. Like, I really like Martin Sheen as Wynn. I like Melinda Clarke as Priest. Both of those characters could have done with more time. This whole movie needed more time to cook.
Yeah, I think when they put it all together, it was just rushed.
Like, back then, like, it wasn't, like, a common theme to do sequels and trilogies as it is today. Had they gone into this movie with the mindset, like, okay, this is just part one. Let's set the table. And everyone involved in this, like, you can bring them back, like, let's redo it, let's retry it one more time. And they would do great with more time.
Yeah. Now, learning from the series, the whole Terry issue was Terry was supposed to be African American. When I did the research, they didn't want too many stars of being African American taking over the show, which I think was completely crap.
Yeah. I didn't do any research. I mean, I did a little bit of background search into the series, I think, and that was right.
For the series, I learned more, and it crossed over with the film, because I thought the film came out first. It did not.
No, the series was...
a couple months before.
Was the series before?
Yeah, this was August, and the series came out in May.
Oh, I thought the series was first. Or the series was second, the movie came out first.
No. That's why it makes it so much more confusing.
Yeah.
You thought this would lead the series, but the series actually came out first. They downplayed Wanda in this film.
Yes.
Big time.
That's why I said this needed time. Because they tried to jam, like, all this content into one movie.
In the movie, Wanda is just, Al Simmons' wife that he wants to see. Who now, of course, we all learn it's from the time he went down to hell and come back, it was 5 years. So she's obviously moved on, had a kid with Terry. But they undermined that, and that's what the series did, was they showed you that Wanda is actually a main character.
Yeah.
Like, she holds her own.
Like, you get a little bit of that in this movie where Spawn grabs Terry at the party and goes, "You betrayed me," and he's like, "Oh, wait, that's very loosely what's happening here." Like, it was years of...
yeah. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I want to sleep with my best friend's wife.
It was years of her mourning, and it was all done in one scene. And it was too quick. Like, they could have done with a scene between him and Terry.
And honestly, they didn't even give Terry enough screen time.
No.
Because Terry, and that's the thing, like, from what I've learned now, Spawn, Terry, and Wanda are all major characters. But you wouldn't have known that through this film.
No.
And that was disappointing. They were treating them like true side characters. Hell, even Twitch.
Yeah.
And his partner made like little cameos at the end of the film when they were big name play. The Spawn comics has multiple major characters, but in this film, Spawn was it.
I mean, they do like John Leguizamo's Violator. He's both really good and really bad. Had they gone less gross and more gruesome with him...
His comedy was fine.
Yeah, like, the comedy was fine, but there's too much of it. Like, you didn't need all the fart jokes. You didn't need him dancing as the goddamn cheerleader.
Yeah.
Like, he made a reference where he's like, "I would kick a dog," and it's like, you should have just shown him kicking a dog. Like, that would have done a whole lot more than him eating maggots off pizza, because we already seen him be gross.
Yeah, but, but they try to make it like, I did get to check out that pizza scene because he goes, "Ugh, I hate anchovies."
I hate anchovies. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I do.
John was good in the film, but they probably watered his character too much.
Like, I do like the fact that, like, they did show you, like, the Violator will fuck Spawn up.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, because he would fuck Spawn up. There's a reason they sent the Violator down.
And that's to keep Spawn, because, they only had 2 fights?
Yeah, there was the one in the alley, and then there was the one at the end.
Yeah.
Was there was the director's cut on Netflix? Because I swear I saw
I watched it on Netflix. It didn't label it as director's cut. So
there were scenes I just did not remember from when I first
from what I
watched
watched, it was everything I remember. And like this movie, like I do like Spawn. I want more of Spawn.
If you bring this iteration of Spawn, like cast and crew back to today, and gave them the CG we got now, and more time, you do something really magical with this.
I mean, they could have gone so much more because, there's the Chapel character that actually killed Spawn, and then Jason was the one who, like, put the order in.
Yeah.
They missed on everything because, like you said, it did fail Rush.
They shoved like multiple movies of material into one movie, and it didn't help it.
Even when and it's weird because I don't, as bad as we're talking about it right now, I didn't think it was a bad.
No, I mean I'll still watch it.
Yeah,
it's still entertaining.
Yeah, I did enjoy the Violator. I did enjoy the whole Spawn thing. I did they just could have made it longer and gave us more details.
Yeah.
I think that's in better CGI. Because even the Violator scenes were rough.
Yeah, like him transforming into like the Violator.
It literally looked like somebody sketched it as a cartoon character to make him transform. And rough. The bright spots was, like, for me, was truly the Spawn and the details that they gave to Spawn.
You know what crew they need? They need to do the animated series with the people who made Castlevania. That would be good. Spawn with the Castlevania team.
Yeah. But even like they even downplayed Cog. But his nickname. They gave him the narrating role, which was fine, but they still downplayed his importance. Like they gave him.
I'll talk more about him in the animated series because I got some issues with that character.
Right, and I get that, but nevertheless, on this side of things, he was once again treated too much like a side character.
Yeah.
Which we know he really isn't. I get it that, you often talk about how...
He had the opposite problem from the series, right? In the series we'll talk more about, he drags things out too long. His speech is just... He continuously says the same thing until finally he decides, okay, now I'll say something else.
Oh, man.
And in this one, he just throws everything at you immediately and quickly. Like, okay,
I was once a Hellspawn, I beat it, now I gotta train you to beat him. End of story.
But, alright, wrap up.
Oh.
Final grades.
You gotta go first.
B. It's getting a B. It's not bad. A B is the middle of the road for me. Am I entertained by your movie? Brass tacks. Yes, I was. Through all of its flaws and problems, I'm still entertained by Spawn.
I am going to go with probably a B as well. You're right. It's not that I'm intrigued with the the idea of a Spawn. Like, even his powers are limited, but they go, if you use them up, you die. But what is using them up?
Yeah.
Like, is it in one battle, then you got to calm down and regenerate the power? How does that work? What action there was with the CGI, I get. I even get the budget. What the CGI was just low, I guess. I don't know. More time.
Well, they really tested. They really put the 97 CGI to test, and it did not hold.
That was 97 CGI that was for the poor, okay? That was brutal. You can't even get a... I mean, we talked about Blade there, even though they used very little. And that's the thing, this movie probably needed to be strong on the CGI.
Yeah, like the chains and the cape.
Yeah.
They just kept it the chains and cape. Fine.
It would have probably got a higher grade, even with the lack of details with the story.
No, I think this is still going to be, because they're still going to do the Violator scene.
I'm giving it a B2. It's not I can rewatch it, but I don't want to rewatch it a lot.
No. This is like once a year, every other year.
I enjoyed the cast. Like it did throw me off when I rewatched it. I forgot Martin Sheen was in it, and it was like, man, they have Martin Sheen in this film
Yes.
as the prick Jason Wynn. Good choice. The casting I was okay with. Yeah, there was overkills at times, the CGI. But I'm going 80B. Like that's
That's a B minus.
Yeah, I can't go any higher than 80%. Yeah.
That's why I'm just giving it a straight letter B. You don't need to know a percentage. It's fucking B.
But until next time.
Bye bye.